Okay, fire signs. This is your daily focus tarot for Sunday, August 1st. Man, you are resisting. Let me tell you that. You are just. Wow. Okay. So for the first two cards that came out, I've never actually had this happen with this deck or any other deck. You have the Tower in reverse. Now the Tower, is obviously transformation. It's the aha moment because he's got this mask on. If you look at it upright, it's the lightning, the golden thought, the golden idea striking the tower with the all-seeing eye. So maybe download or information from your higher self or from the universe. But in reverse, and you're falling to earth because you're getting this information that's helping you be more grounded. In the reverse, this is about stagnation. You're not growing. You are resisting it. You are very firmly, you're trying to fall upwards. You're trying to go against gravity, go against the flow of nature, of your life. You are struggling. You are keeping this mask on. You don't want it to fall off. You don't believe that the earth, can catch you. You are, wow, you're just resisting. You're resisting change. And you're focused on resisting change. This is not what you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on the change, but you are very focused on resisting it. We also have the Hangman. But first we'll do the clarifiers for the Tower. So 9 of Pentacles. This can be talking about living in your values, living in alignment with your life values. Okay, so you are resisting that. You are resisting this change toward living in alignment with your values. The High Priest, I said to the other people, there's something going on with Taurus, and this has the Taurus symbol, so you can look into that. And this is, the Hierophant and other decks. It's number 5. It's talking about guidance in institutions, and you've got it in the reverse. You are avoiding seeking guidance. You're avoiding anybody helping you with this problem, with this movement forwards. We also have the fairy light. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Which is talking about inspiration. It's talking about creating your dreams. It's talking about making things happen and having everything you need to make things happen, and having the right way to put them together to make this potion, this rainbow, this ideal situation for you. And the wheel, the turning of fate. In this particular wheel, it's a casting circle. It's keeping out and keeping things in. To me, this here, you're keeping things in because you're trying to fight this change. You're fighting this transformation. You're fighting this knowledge. This living, you're fighting creating this ideal environment, this ideal circle, and with a fairy light, this ideal environment for yourself. You're fighting asking for help or getting the knowledge to do this, to live in alignment with your values, to live in alignment with your purpose. You are just fighting it like mad. And the hangman, this is Odin sacrificing himself for this, for this knowledge, for the entrance into the tree of life, the tree of knowledge. He's hanged himself to get the knowledge of language, to get the ability to communicate. In the traditions, he's hanged himself to get the runes, the means to communicate both with himself, with others, with spirit, the means to describe things, to understand things. And he sacrificed himself for that. This can also mean stalling. It can mean taking time out. To me, with the tower and you fighting, getting this knowledge and living in alignment with your values, you trying to have this circle where you're, keeping things in and keeping things out, and trying to control. The hangman here, you're all about control right now. And it's not healthy. There are some things you can't control and some things you just can't stop from happening. Okay? It is fate. It is destiny. It is, the turning. It is karma sometimes. For the clarifier and the hangman, 3 cards came out at once. The 5 of Wands, which can be talking about competition, and because they're making the pentagram here, it could be competition in the material world, although most people think of it because it's Wands, competition in the spiritual. It can also be talking about resisting, fighting the spiritual. To me, you are fighting the spiritual here. And we also had 10 of Pentacles, satisfaction, your family life, your physical, the material world. And what's interesting here, I think this is an Irish sheephound and not a shepherd. Like I was telling the other groups, I'm not so deeply into astrology that I know everything, but Sirius, the dog star, there's something going on with Taurus, and there's something also going on with Sirius right now. So you could look into those, but you're just fighting it. And then the odd thing is, the hangman sacrificing to get this knowledge on how to communicate from the tree of life, from the tree of knowledge, the tower. This time it's upright, right? And these 2 towers are quite different. He's falling. He's got the colors of earth. He's falling to the ground. You can see this sunrise and this clear, mostly clear, like the clouds are going away. And this one, as soon as the golden lightning strikes the tower. Whereas in this one, it's dark. It's like it's sunset. And there are definitely thunder clouds. And the lightning isn't golden. The fire inside the tower is what's golden, is what's lit up. And there's 2 people in this who are either pushed out of the tower from the force of the lightning strike, or they're jumping, trying to get into the water, trying to get into spirituality, into the unconscious, the emotional, from this solid rock, because the solid rock is no longer protecting them. It may look like it's very protective. It's got one road in. Otherwise, it's got the water around it. So you would have to, you could have somebody watching the road and somebody watching the water, and it would easily be defensible castle, a defensible tower. But no, it's not defensible against lightning. It's not defensible against, acts of nature. Fire, burning ideas, causing you to take that leap, causing you to want to delve into your emotional, into your unconscious, into your spiritual side. So the tower is the transforming, the transforming of yourself in these ideas. And you'll notice, oh no, that's something on my screen. Sorry. So the hangman, sacrificing to gain knowledge, to gain what you need to communicate in order to get this tower upright, in order to get this happiness, this satisfaction in your life. At the bottom, I'm going to just briefly go over like the bottom of the Druid Craft Tarot. And I'm going to do it very quickly. So Prince of Swords, I'm going to look at the book real quick. Prince of Swords, so he's the very fast moving one. He is also at a very defensive, very, very defensive, and you'll notice his eyes are in line with the sword, like literally, and he's coming in at an angle. The princes in this deck, other people have commented, they are kind of weird, the way that they look. And his horse, it has like ram's horns almost too. Whereas he has some weird sort of, I wouldn't wear a helmet with horns, because if somebody hit that helmet, that horn part would go right. The metal of the helmet is probably not strong enough to prevent that horn from turning into an object that goes straight into your head. So he's very defensive, he's very fast moving, and he's intelligent and articulate. So this is at the bottom of the deck. This is what's hidden from you and what is in your unconscious as well. So Prince of Swords, fast moving thinking, ambitious, but he can also be stubborn. He can be talking about exploring other options. So underneath him, Ace of Swords. And swords are about ideas. They're about balance between good and evil, because both sides of the blade cut, right? You stab somebody with a sword, and even if it's not serrated edges, even if the edges don't have, like zigzags, you're still going to do quite a bit of damage, and you're going to do damage on this side of the sword and that side of the sword. So this Ace of Swords, the Lady in the Lake, quite obviously handing the sword up to the king. And you see this thread, this silver thread, golden thread wrapping around of light. You can kind of see it on the camera. And when the sword comes out of the water, it's the new day. It's the sunrise. It's the dawning, the beginning, right? So something is breaking through your unconscious, through your emotional. And people will say, princes, pages, they're messengers, right? So you're going to have this breakthrough. And then we have Prince of Wands. Oh my goodness. So many thoughts, so many fast moving, so much movement and action. So Prince of Wands, I always look at him as he's leaping over, the molehill that's made into a mountain. And he is talking about determined, inspired action. He is talking about sometimes moving house, sometimes doing stuff just because it's exciting, just because he feels passionate about it. So this breakthrough, you could be passionate about it. You could be like putting stuff in its place with this, molehill into mountain thing. You could be saying, no, I'm done with that. In terms of this communication and this stalemate in the communication, and when you get this knowledge, this breakthrough, you're like, no, I can handle that. I'm perfectly fine with it. I know exactly what to do with it. I don't need to make it into something it's not, right? And then we had Prince of Pentacles. So this is like, you have so many princes here. This is just, it's unbelievable how many princes were at the bottom of the deck. So swords, wands, pentacles. So thoughts, spirituality, material things. And he's kind of slow, and he's kind of like, he's more defensive. He's got that shield up. And that sword is just sitting kind of, I don't know, like he's just forgotten he's even got it in his hand. And the horse isn't moving at all. He's talking about routine and being prepared. He's very conservative. And this, it's followed by Queen of Pentacles, who is all about abundance, all about creating new abundance, new things. So she is also, in a way, it's about being conservative with what you've got. So you get this breakthrough, and then you're like all gung-ho, and you're not making things into what they aren't, but you're still passionate. But your passion is now about conserving, stuff that's happening in your life and growing your abundance. And then you've got the Eight of Swords. You've imprisoned yourself with your thoughts over this abundance, over these material things, right? That you're being so conservative and not moving forward with. And then you have the Two of Cups. You have this union, the green, the earth, this is the material things. This is, it can also be about health. So this is the material things, and the red, the passion, the blood, and the purple, the spiritual. This is the union between the material and the spiritual that you're trying to get to. So this is the balance that you're trying to get to, right? This is what you want in your unconscious, and what isn't known to you that's at the bottom of the deck. This is what you're ultimately trying to get to. But you're going to go through a lot to get there, and don't imprison yourself. Don't bind yourself. Don't be like, the material abundance is what's stagnating me, and it's more important that I defend the material abundance than be passionate and stop making, mountains out of molehills. Stop, this breakthrough that you're having on this. This is kind of an amazing, it was just kind of amazing. Sorry. It was a lot to process. So yeah, get your values. Focus on getting your values into alignment. Get out of this stalemate. Get out of this competition mindset. Get out of this, everything has to be just perfect mindset. Get the language that you need. It is a sacrifice to live within your values, to have that values alignment. Don't keep out the things that you will actually need, this knowledge, this ability to alchemize everything that you have into this happy new beginning, right? Don't fight the tower moment. You want the tower to be in the upright here like it is with the hangman. You want the wheel to turn. You want to take that jump. You can't stay in the tower one way or the other, whether the tower is, whether you're fighting it and the tower is in reverse, or it's upright and you're no longer fighting it, you're jumping willingly. Don't fight the tower. The tower is there to help you. Scary as it seems, scary as it sounds, you can't stay in the hangman forever, And the thing is, you sacrifice certain things that are material, and you think, oh, I could never live without that. But the reality is, you can live. At one point in your life, you lived without, you didn't have a TV. You didn't own a car. You didn't own a house. You didn't own even the clothes that were on your own back. Your parents owned them. Or, if you were like a ward of the state owned them. Technically, you didn't own anything. And at some point in the future, you will never own what you use or what you have. You don't own your computer that you use at work. The company you work for owns it. You don't actually own property. The earth owns the property. You are just borrowing it. Okay? You are leasing it, maybe, would be a better term. It's nothing on this planet, on this plane of existence, is actually yours. And it's good to remember that. And when it comes to value alignment in tower moments, don't fight them. Learn to walk towards living in your values. Learn to make those small steps that add up into bigger things. Let this tower moment happen. Don't stay stuck. I'll see you tomorrow.